Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and my friend Sandy. Today we're
Hi.
going to be talking. Today we're going to be talking about some really important issues in Cabo, and I'm so honored to be able to talk to Sandy. How long have I known? I mean, like 10 years, right? I've known you like 10 years.
It's, I think more like
maybe,
12.
Maybe more like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. You were one of the first people I met when I came here. And we were bonded by the fact that you had a beautiful Chihuahua named Chili.
Yes.
Titi. And I had a beautiful Chihuahua named Zoe. And they became close friends. And we just really also loved working on restoring furniture and things like that.
Lots in common.
Yeah, we did.
Lots in common.
We had a lot of fun. And I have watched Sandy really evolve over the years to become a really powerful source of change for good in Cabo. And I felt like I needed to share that with you. Can you talk to us a little bit, first of all, Sandy, about what brought you to Cabo?
Well, basically, we fell in love with Mexico many, many years ago, and we're vacationing at least once a year in various parts of Mexico. We settled first in Nuevo Vallarta, and after a few years, because of work and such, we ended up in Los Cabos. And
how long ago was that?
We've been in Los Cabos for 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem real.
It doesn't. I know. You're kind of an old timer here at this point.
We don't say old.
We don't say that word. Well, when you moved here, you already had a love for animals because you had cats, you had dogs, you already loved animals.
I dragged home everything since I was a kid. Yes. My mother's like, oh,
another pet. Oh my God. So what prompted you to start the area or the direction that you're taking now in how you're trying to make a difference in Cabo?
Well, when I was still in Nueva Vallarta, there's so much need for the animals. And if you love animals, you just simply can't walk by. You shouldn't walk by.
Right.
And so I was just occasionally picking up a stray, getting it back to health and adopting it out on my own. So when we moved over to Los Cabos, I wanted to get a little bit more involved. That was something that was a passion of mine, and I wanted to make a difference there. So I started to just volunteer a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sheila Marshall was very, very good at getting you drawn in and
pulled in, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So pretty soon I was Foster's here, Foster's there, stuffed in a corner.
That's when I met you.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
And then Odile hit, and I remember you had like drawers in your condo that you would open the doors and they were filled with water. Like this, it just was crazy.
Odile was crazy.
Odile was crazy. And then you got through Odile and everybody kind of rebuilt. And then at that point, when did you realize that you needed to take a more active role?
Well, Sheila and I were working more and more together. We decided we needed to have some kind of shelter because we had too many animals.
Yeah.
And so we opened up a shelter in La Playita. And we very, very soon realized this is not even big enough.
Wow.
And we were contemplating another shelter, a bigger shelter, when I was taking an animal to the airport one day to meet Sheila, drop it off so she could fly it up. And on my way home, I got a phone call. And it said Sheila collapsed at the airport, and we lost her.
I remember that very clearly. I remember that was such a shock and such a blow to Cabo and to you as her
absolutely was.
friend and partner.
That was her life.
Yeah.
30 years of helping the animals.
Yeah. I mean, 30 years of helping animals. So at that point, you knew you had to continue her mission. You had almost really no choice but to continue her mission.
I didn't, but I did, but I didn't. Because just looking at the little faces at the shelter, and it's like, if I don't step up, what happens?
What happens? Yeah.
And so I was really blessed that many, many, many friends stepped up to help. People that were friends with Sheila, my friends, and we started out just by scratch. We had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea what we were doing.
Yeah. And you changed the name of the company.
We changed it from Alma to Casa Sheila, which in her honor.
Absolutely love. I absolutely love that. That's the sweetest story.
Well, Sheila was amazing. So many rescues they don't want to adopt out to the local population. They don't want, they're sending them all to up north, but they'll be safe. And she always said, if you don't educate, if you don't utilize, if you don't teach them how to treat the animals, things will never change. And I always took that with me.
Yeah. And I think that's the one really specific thing that makes Casa Sheila different than other animal rescues in town is you guys have a very clear, mission. And I don't know, because you're kind of in the thick of it, that you realize that you're really making a difference.
We have 500,000 strays in Los Cabos.
500,000. Is that just dogs, or is that dogs and cats?
That's dogs.
500,000 stray dogs in Los Cabos. And what about cats?
We don't know on cats. Cats are kind of a little more hard.
Yeah, they're definitely more difficult.
But it's 18 to 20 million in Mexico alone.
Wow.
The largest population in all of Latin America, which is not a distinction we want.
No, that's not a good.
We need help. We need more clinics. We need people to be more responsible. I'm preaching.
That's okay. You have to, because
we're drowning. You're
drowning. Seeing these horrible things. And I was thinking when I was getting ready to meet you, like, you probably see the most beautiful and amazing things, and at the same time, the most horrific and appalling things from day to day.
We do. And you have to focus on the people that are doing the good, because otherwise, there's a huge burnout in rescue because it's hard.
I'm sure. It's emotionally draining.
Hard.
Your program of education, can you talk a little bit about the education? I think you're meaning basically, I guess, to educate the local Mexican population, but also maybe educating tourists, educating just the general public. So tell me a little bit about your education prong.
We actually go into the schools. And
that's so smart. Start young.
They're moldable still. They get it. And they love that. Pinky is a huge part of the education program.
Hi, Pinky.
She just goes up and interacts with the kids, and
she's so friendly. She came right up to me.
Yeah, she is so friendly. So many people think Chihuahuas are yippy.
Yeah.
No.
That yippy dog. No, they're so loving.
They really are. So Pinky goes and she meets 150 kids at a time. I'm not sure of many dogs that are comfortable doing
tolerate that. And she just loves it.
Tail wagging, jumping in there.
Yeah, loves it. And you're teaching the kids, you have to feed your animal. You have to take care of your animal. Bring them to the clinic that we're having.
Exactly. We usually do an education program the week before a clinic. You'd be surprised how many kids bring their dogs and are like, hi, it's me.
That's so strategic. So you go into the school, you tell them about how to treat their animals, and you say, hey, we're having a clinic. Bring your animal to the clinic. It's free. And
yes,
that's so nice.
And, we've had some classes that they've gone the extra mile. Those teachers are phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had one that organized the kids to go around and hand out flyers for the next clinic.
Wow.
They've built handmade jaulas, kennels for people to utilize at the clinics. I mean, it's just they really want to do this.
Yeah.
And
they just have to be educated about it.
They do. And more, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Many years ago when I was helping at clinics, if we did 35 animals in a day, it was a big day. And now our goal is always 300.
My gosh. Wow.
So people are starting to really get it. I'm very proud of the Mexican people for starting to step up.
So you have formed some very strategic relationships with various vets in town.
Yes.
And so you work with these vets, and then tell me how the clinics work a little bit.
Well, basically, we choose a location mainly by people contacting us, the subdelegates, which are basically the officials in a colonia. They will call us and say, look, we're having major issues with aggressive dogs and dogs on the street and puppies. Can you come and do something in our neighborhood? So we will choose a colonia that's having a big animal problem. We usually have it at a school because it's got the cement we need, the electricity, the water. And then we do a countdown. So 2 weeks before, we have to have the location. We have to have the education date in place. We have to have the date that we're going to walk the neighborhoods and pass out flyers. We have to have, there's a million supplies to buy and things to organize. It's big work. I talk to people all day long.
Yeah. For the weeks preceding that. How much does a clinic cost Casa Sheila?
It costs us $7,500 US a month.
A month.
A month.
Wow.
400 pesos per animal.
Per animal.
Plus all of our supplies.
Yeah,
And,
right.
we've got a lot of volunteers to feed.
Right.
So it adds up. So $7,500 a month.
Let's talk about people who are out there and they're animal lovers and they want to know how they can help Casa Sheila. So to me, first thing first, if you can't do anything but just give money, you can make such a huge difference just by donating a certain amount of money every month. And I'm sure every little bit helps.
We're tired.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going all day, every day, trying to make a difference. And yes, even 400 pesos
makes a difference. Yeah. If you can even sponsor one dog per month for 400 pesos a month or 500 pesos a month and sponsor one dog a month, that would make such a big difference.
It would. It really would. It takes a village, and I truly believe in community. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be change until the community recognizes a problem and actually does something about it.
Right. Yeah, and you're doing that. Okay, people can donate money. What else can they donate?
They can, if you own a restaurant, you can bring the lunches for all of our volunteers. We go through massive amounts of electrolytes and Coca-Cola and water. Mm-hmm. We try and use big bottles, Garrafons.
Yeah.
But we also provide sandwiches and water for the people waiting for their animals.
Oh my gosh.
They're waiting for many hours. It's the least that we can do.
Wow.
June 16th is our next one.
June 16th is the next clinic. So people bring their pets in the morning, they get registered, the vets go around, anesthetize them and start the
Yeah, basically, we have people lining up at 5 a.m.
Wow.
We get there at 6 to start setting up.
Okay.
And we start registering all the animals. And when the vets are ready, when they've got all their set up, then we bring the animal in, we weigh it, we give it the injection to put it under, and then it gets cleaned and shaved and prepped for surgery. Then it goes into surgery.
Okay.
And then after surgery, it goes into our recovery area, which is where most of our Casa Sheila volunteers are.
Okay.
And we try and only have 1 or 2 animals per person.
Okay.
We are very cautious. We want to make sure that we are ensuring the best care for each individual.
Yeah.
And so it's all day. Sometimes, we're there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Wow, Sandy, that's exhausting.
It is, but we have the most amazing team of volunteers. Amazing. They're so passionate and so dedicated. One of our ladies, Leslie, flew in just to be at this clinic.
It's incredible.
So thankful for that. And we get energized. We're exhausted. Our feet are killing us. A masseuse would be good.
Yeah, there you go. Does anybody want to come do foot rubs? That would be a great.
But no, we get at that kind of high going of
yes,
look at we're at 275. Yes.
Right.
So we keep that really going. And even though we're exhausted at the end of a day, we know that we made a difference for those animals.
Yeah. Are there any supplies that you would like for people to donate, or do you prefer just funds?
Well, if somebody wants to contact me, because usually we're trying to get some piece of equipment or something to make life easier, not only for our normal vet that we use on a day-to-day basis, but also for use at the clinics. So, if they wanted to contact me, they're more than welcome to say, hey, what do you need?
Okay, perfect. So in the notes below, I will put all of Casa Sheila's contact information, and you can also find them. They have a great presence on social media because you really are trying to get the word out.
We are.
So lastly, I want to talk about kind of a sad subject, and that is maybe sad and happy, but that is sometimes you have animals that people bring to you that are really not doing well, and you nurse them back to health and they get healthy, and you know that they would make a great pet for adoption, but you don't have space for them. So you're kind of like, boy, if we could get more volunteers to foster, that would make such a difference.
Foster and adoption.
And adopt.
And stop breeding.
Yes, stop the breeding.
Because
and adopt.
Nobody wants, we're finding more and more, nobody wants the big dogs.
No.
Nobody.
Right.
And so there was a bunch of husky puppies that were dumped out in the desert yesterday.
Oh, God.
And huskies shouldn't be here
they
anyway.
They should not be here. They'll be so hot.
No, it's miserable. I tell people all the time, put a down jacket on
and
for the entire month of August or September.
And a hat.
And you can't take it off.
Right. How's that feel?
You're going to adjust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't.
It's cool. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, I've scooped up enough huskies with heat stroke to know.
Yeah.
So no. But anyway, back on that subject. Nobody wants a big dog. And so we have plenty of big dogs for adoption. But they all want the little cute ones. If I had half the people interested in the bigger dogs.
Yeah.
That, it would be so much easier. So one, we need to fine for any litter that's born in Los Cabos. Any litter. Period. I know it sounds harsh, but I see all the time, I'm looking for Novia or Novio for my dog. I want a litter of puppies. And it's like, just don't.
Stop doing that.
People don't know what they're doing. They're actually hurting a breed when they want to breed. If you look at pugs are so deformed here in Los Cabos.
Yeah,
they are so
they
deformed.
Look so weird. Yeah, they do.
Because of overbreeding and people not knowing what they're doing. So it's, there's so many things that people can do to stop this. Don't ever buy a dog.
Right. There are so many good dogs.
So many amazing dogs. Yeah. Pinky, I found her on top of a trash pile.
Oh my God. She's like, what? I'm so embarrassed. You have a good life now, don't you?
She's so spoiled.
I'm sure she goes everywhere with you.
Oh, she does. She does.
She's a beautiful girl.
But she does a lot of good work. So, I think
a hard worker.
Her connection with kids.
Yeah. It's special.
Well, and they all of a sudden they're like, a dog isn't just tied out for security.
Right.
You can actually interact with your dog. Yes. And that's what we're trying to encourage.
Yes.
We want to have more programs like I have the time, but I would love to start a program, training kids with their dogs. You know, the basics, sitting,
Yeah.
laying down, staying. I think they would thrive.
They would love that.
Yes, they
Oh.
would. And eventually teaching them how to do obstacle courses
Yes.
and getting them really involved in the
Yes.
community with their dog.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And realizing that that animal has a lot of value and they're not just like you said, tied up in the front yard as security.
And this time of year, you know, we always encourage people, keep a gallon of water in your car, keep an old yogurt container, and a bag of food. And when you see a problem, fix it.
Yeah.
You know, a yogurt container is a throwaway thing, but
Right.
make it useful at least a second or a third time.
Right. Exactly.
And help the animals because they suffer in the summer
Yes,
greatly.
I suffer in the summer. I can't,
me
and I get
too.
to go in the air conditioning. I can't imagine the dogs who have to, you know, walk the streets and they're so thirsty. So, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. I think that it's important for people to know when they're watching this video that they can make a difference. Maybe you look at Sandy and you're like, oh my God, she's like a saint. How I couldn't do what she does. They may not be able to do what you do, but they can help a little bit.
Everybody can pick your passion. You know, if it's kids, help the kids.
Help them.
If it's the elderly, help them.
Right.
But choose to do something to help
Right.
your community instead of just, well, it's the problem's so big. There's nothing I can do.
I can't make a difference.
Yeah,
well,
you
can. You really
can.
And you're living proof of that. And you started small and you've grown now to such a great presence here. So thank you for all the work that you do.
It's really our team. Our team is phenomenal. So
How many volunteers do you have right now?
Well, usually for a clinic, we have around 50 volunteers.
Okay.
So we encourage volunteers. We don't need that many, as a general rule, but we want people to become passionate about helping their community.
And
so
once they volunteer
encourage
in a clinic like that, I'm sure they're all in.
They love it. They want to. When's the next one? When's the next one?
Yeah. So when is the next clinic?
June 16th.
June 16th. And will it be in the San Jose location?
It will be. We're looking at. We usually do one or two at the Boys and Girls Club, their facility, because there's air conditioning.
Oh, I love that idea. Well, invite me to that one.
Yes. And then we usually take August and September off because it's too hot for
the volunteers,
the animals.
The
The animals
doctors.
have to recover, and a lot of them are outside.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Too
not.
hot. Yeah.
Not a good thing.
Okay. All right. So we will put the location of the next one in the notes below. And if anybody has any questions, they can ask for
Please
sure. And reach
contact
out to
me.
you. So thank you so much, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do for our community. Keep up the good work. I know it's exhausting, but keep up the good work, and we'll try to get some awareness out there of all of the things that you do, the things that you need, and ways people can help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.